Selling electrical products on Amazon is absolutely fantastic. One of the best categories you can actually sell on is the electrical categories on Amazon. Lots and lots of search volume for them. But what about getting those electrical products into your target country, whether that's the USA, UK, Australia? What certifications do you need to be able to sell those products on Amazon? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm helping you grow, build, scale, make money from your own Amazon business right here in Australia, be sure to give this video a thumbs up so that I know you like this kind of information, and that way I can do more of it for you. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because we post brand new money-making information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions or comments, comment below and I'll answer it for you personally. With that being said, let's get into it. Selling electrical goods is phenomenally profitable. If you get it right, like the categories on Amazon, what do electricals are some of the best categories, volume of search volume wise. So you assume sales wise as well on Amazon. So there's a lot of money to be made selling electrical stuff. And it's one of those things that people don't feel that they need to try things on or get a sense of it. They feel comfortable to buy something just online with sight unseen, basically. As a result of that, very, very good categories. But you are messing with people's lives selling electrical stuff. Because if you get it wrong and one of your electrical components faults, you can quite literally kill people. So be careful. If an electrical product goes wrong, it can catch fire. That can cause untold damage to property and possibly also kill people as well. So be mindful of that. All right. So go into it with your eyes open about what's involved with selling it. Little disclaimer there. Having said that, Amazon does have its own set of guidelines that they have for selling electrical goods, and they revolve around the certifications that they require of a seller and the product to be certified. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. Having said that, though, they are, in my experience, applied in a very loosey-goosey ad hoc fashion. So meaning it is entirely plausible to sell things on Amazon. In fact, I see it all the time. Sell things on Amazon where the product does not have any certifications at all, okay? At all. And why would somebody do that though? Why on earth would they put a product up on Amazon without certifications? Very simple, money. Because there are, as you can imagine, around the world, very, very differing standards for electrical componentry. Of course, Australia and what we would think of as the first world, the Western world, has the most stringent standards for electrical goods. And I'll talk about those in a second. But outside of that, countries like Eastern Europe, India, Pakistan, places like that, what you might think of as second world countries, well, their electrical standards are thin to non-existent, okay? Meaning there is the potentiality to find factories on Alibaba who sell to countries like the Eastern Europe or Southeast Asian markets, where the certifications are very, very less strict. And as a result of that, these products are lower quality, much cheaper, much cheaper, okay? But dangerous, yeah? And so money is what drives that, just so you can be absolutely clear. So you shouldn't be able to do that, but you can do that, including getting them into the country through customs, blah, 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 all that stuff. You can absolutely do it. So that's why you might do it, for instance, because of the increased profits, because to get these things tested costs money to the factory. Like, it's expensive to get it done. The factory has to get outside certifiers in, and then they have to go through everything, get the things tested. That all costs money, and that gets passed on to us as buyers, as wholesale buyers of these particular things. That gets passed on to us. And therefore, of course, if they aren't tested, you don't have those things get passed on to you. The products are much, much cheaper. Anyway, so something to consider. I'm not suggesting that you do that. I'm just giving you what you'll be up against. So just be mindful of that. There's absolutely people do that. For me, I wouldn't do that. A, I worry that I'd kill people. And B, because it is actually a rule on Amazon that you have this certification, even though Amazon applies it in a very, very laissez-faire kind of fashion, there could easily come a time, and this happens all the time on Amazon, where they suddenly start enforcing it across the board, and you could find yourself in a situation where you've got a container load of stuff sitting at the Amazon's warehouse. They won't let it in because you don't have the certification. Okay, so you could find yourself in that situation. So that's why I personally don't do it. Anyway, let's move on. So what about the certifications? Okay, so in the USA, let's talk about the USA first. So this is arguably the most popular, certainly the most well-known in the USA for electrical certifications, is the UL standard. Okay, UL standard. And all of these companies, by the way, that I'm showing you, and there's an opportunity here, will do that certification for you for a price, okay? UL is very, very good because they are, I believe anyway, a not-for-profit organization, meaning they're not trying to make money from doing this. They're just trying to be a quasi-governing body for it, okay? So as far as using these people to get the things done, it's a very, very cheap relative to other options option, okay? So anyway, UL, very, very good. The other one as well is these, which is EST certification, and that's done by Intertek, which is actually my favorite company to use to get this sort of stuff done, and also to get inspections done. SGS and Intertek are my two favorite inspection services for factories. Anytime I see a factory that's been inspected by Intertek or SGS, which is SGS Global, that's a big badge for me. That's a big tick for me, because I know they do an awesome job. Anyway, so they also, of course, do this as well, which is EST, and that's another widely accepted, certainly on Amazon anyway, certification, qualification, that you know you're getting a good product, okay? Third one is a CSA. These, again, are very, very widely accepted, but unlike the other two, these are a for-profit company, meaning if you use them, it will cost you more money, okay? But on the flip side to that, they are a for-profit company. They're actually much, much faster and arguably much more efficient. So if you're in the shit and you need to get something certified quickly, you should use these guys because it's much faster. All right, so that's in the good old US of A. And then in Australia, you've got SSA. Oh, I should mention as well that UL certification, that's also a European one, as is the CE mark as well, okay? And then in Australia, you've got SAA. So there's an interesting thing in Australia, and I think so Adrian has already said that the USB, using a USB port, see if I've got one, where you have to plug something in like that and it goes through that, that is actually a brilliant hack for getting stuff into Australia. Because if your electrical product is connected to the electrics via this, the certification is a lot less. Like, that's a really good thing that Adrian's doing. Anyway, so that's a good hack. But in Australia, they're much more stringent. I think it's the most stringent company. It is a company, of course, Australia Inc. Country. So there's two levels to certification in Oz. SAA, they mostly handle what we would think of as low voltage, low wattage electrical goods, lights, fridges, things like that, okay? But then there's a much higher certification that Australia also has, which most countries don't have, for a lot of other things that require more wattage, more voltage going into them, okay? But most of the things we sell on Amazon don't actually apply for that sort of stuff, so you probably don't need to worry about that, but it's worth checking anyway. So anyway, SAA. All right, so I also told you there'd be a little hack that you could use as well. So the good thing about SAA as a company is that it's actually the cheapest out of any of the companies to get your product certified, to get the electrical product certified to sell in Australia. Okay, it's the cheapest. I think from memory, I want to say it's $500 or $600, something like that. So it isn't much in terms of a product. Okay. So how can you use that? Well, let's come back over here. So for instance, if you are looking for a product and you know full well that your unit cost for a product with certification is substantially higher than without certification, well, what you could do is look for products that have not got the certification and then bring it to Australia and spend $600 to get it certified, because that would then lead to a massive, massive reduction. Two things: reduction in your competition for that, certainly in Australia, because, you know, most people don't realize that you can get that stuff done, or they're just too lazy to get it done because that's work. And also, of course, your unit cost for the product would stay low. And once you've got the certification once, you've got it for every single unit you purchase from that factory. So you could use it that way too. It's a cool little hack. How that helps. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Over 2,500 members and growing. We're actually the fastest growing e-commerce community right here in Australia, with sales of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, and I will see you on the inside. Until then, bye.